Welcome to Rauta's Underground Trio. Once again, we have 3 different releases, 3 different bands, 3 different styles from the underground. So none of these names might not ring a bell for you, and that's kind of understandable. These are very, very new to the game. First, let's start unboxing, and then I will go from worst to best all these releases. The first one here is tape by a band called Necroprophecy, and this is the first release by the very band, coming from United States of America. And as you can see, this is pretty classic J-card approach to tape. So tape EP, and J-card obviously meaning, you know, letter J. Well, that's only for kind of a newbie information. Anyway, this is a pretty straightforward, simple, no lyrics kind of a release with tape format, cassette like some people say. And as you can see, very simple like that. Another one comes from Sweden. This is, technically speaking, a compilation of 3 demos called Anthology, The Horrors Unleashed, including 3 demos from the band. So officially no first album out yet. And this kind of serves like that, because obviously this is a CD format, like a long play album. As you can see, 3 different chapters of 3 different releases. And the name of the game is old school death metal, kind of married with some blackened elements. One could say it's a death black kind of a thing, but definitely nothing more towards death metal. And as you can see, this is a proper CD release by a label, so not just some cheap ass DIY, DIY kind of a thing. So that's at least a proper release. And then we have Fagus, which kind of calls for poor wordplays and jokes from, if I remember correctly, Germany. And this is a digipack release, first album by the band. Looks actually pretty sweet if you ask me, like a proper thick digipack. As you can see, very, very mountain themed package. Not much visually kind of a stunning, especially when you go blurry effects like that. But at least, you know, the packaging is pretty much alright. I mean, you get the kind of a cardboardish feeling, not just some cheap ass, you know, super thin paper quality, which is something that some labels do, but, you know, kind of a, you know, tactile feeling to it if you really think about it. All the lyrics and all that stuff. So there it is. And now it's time for the actual reviews, worst to best, according to my opinion anyway. Obviously, whatever matters is that how your own taste buds is connected to the music. And as it just so happens, the order I showed you these releases is exactly the same as with my rating here, starting with Necroprophecy from Cleveland, Ohio, and very first EP. Now I got this tape at Steelfest. I think somebody handed me right there. Don't have vivid recollections on that, but whatever. Slaughter on Sight is a 4-track release, and here goes for about 15 minutes. And as you can pretty much figure out from the guys looking like this is old school as get, even Suicidal Tendencies, Cap hat there, a definite plus. This is definitely some kind of a project that is still looking for its own style. Yes, it's kind of a trash metal, but it's also kind of blackened one. So black trash, blackened trash, doesn't matter how you call it, it's pretty much the name of the game here. There's energy that kind of supports the genre here, the music and all that stuff, but the riffs are not that astounding, nor is the overall quality. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing bad about it, but it's not in fact very good. So it's more like work in progress, kind of a typical demo. You just do the first songs, you just record them, and then you spread it in hopes for people to kind of, I don't know, figure out what this band is all about, what's the style, and maybe they will have gigs, maybe they will end up doing a full album and all that stuff. Everything is pretty decent, but nothing is something, wow, I'm gonna get back to it. So I think these guys need more time to, you know, mature or get better with the songwriting and all. But definitely right up your alley if you're like into blackened trash or black trash. But beyond that, off we go to Sweden with Gravecrawler. Like I mentioned, this one is a compilation called Anthology, The Horrors Unleashed, including these 3 different demos from 2021 through 2023. So 1 demo a year, and all in all, this band is still quite young, from 2019. And as it has 3 demos, it's technically speaking like an album full of songs that is some 45 minutes. I don't know why my internet is so slow. It's gonna take a while to load the whole page. But here you have 12 songs and 45 minutes, which is kind of like basic album length, basic amount of tracks and all that stuff. Coming out of Grind to Death records are already gone out in June. This is very much like going back to very basics. I mean, it's technically speaking here called black death metal, but I wouldn't say it's too much black metal. Let's be honest about it. All the way from guitar sounds and all that stuff, it kind of sounds, yeah, these guys have been spoon-fed the Swedish type of death metal, but obviously a little bit black metal in the mix. And when we're talking about black metal in the mix, more likely talking about bands like Necroprophecy rather than, Marduk or Dark Funeral. Everything here is so goddamn Swedish that even if you didn't know that it is a Swedish band, you would probably guess it. At least if you have any kind of experience over the years or the decades of Swedish kind of extreme metal. Everything here is almost like, yeah, you can feel the potent here. You can feel like, okay, I know what these guys are trying to do and what they are going after, but it's not there yet. So much like Necroprophecy, it's very much like a typical demo recording. Surely the production is better, but when it comes to the actual songwriting, it's almost like you are doing some kind of a B-budget level of Amon Amarth songs, including some black metal elements and some more traditional death metal elements, not so much heavy metal elements, and all that stuff. So it sounds kind of a heavy, that's where the heavy word was coming into my brain. It's still something like, yeah, but I'm not getting addicted to it. I'm not getting hooked to it. I'm not getting, the gacha vibes here. I'm not getting it super heavy. So it's almost like avoiding these extremities. And when you're going for extreme metal, I mean, you kind of want something more. So while this is very potential band and kind of has the skill set and understanding of the genres here involved, it's not there yet. And that kind of leads us to the verdict like, yeah, no cigar this time, but definitely something that would be very, very likely to become something interesting should they eventually go for a full album and all that stuff. We will keep waiting for that. So the best of the pile comes from Germany, and it's a debut album called Inter by a name Fagus. And this is a little bit older compared to the rest of the bands. I mean, this has been here since year 2010. But I don't know what's going on, because between the first EP 2013 and this first album 2023, 10 years gap. Don't know what's going on. If you take a look at the members list, you can see that, pretty much all the guys, well, except the drummer, I mean, they have been in the band quite some time. So it's not even the lineup changes, it seems, that made the band took its time. Now, whatever it is, this album is actually pretty good overall. The songs are rather lengthy, so 40 minutes and 6 songs, but you get over it. This is some kind of a modern black metal, but definitely I would say crossing the boundaries for post-black. When you listen to the songs, I mean, you kind of easily figure out this has not much to do with the 1990s kind of black metal. And some people are already calling that old school black metal. I mean, I kind of get it. It's, 30 years since the first bands started to do it, but compared to the real old school, like 1980s and all that stuff, even less so. So this is more like a modern black metal with some melodies, some grim tunes, fast tempo and all that stuff, but a lot of post-black metallic things and a little bit melancholia in the mix. I actually find it quite likable because there is something that, pushes the right buttons. Be it about the melancholia, be it the fast tempo, be it the melodics, and good production, good vocals and all that stuff. So, if you're into that, if you're not looking for some old school sound and vibe and all that stuff, and I mean, this is something that you should keep your eyes and ears peeled for. It's not exactly great yet, but definitely on the good side of things. So Fagus is definitely the winner of this Underground Trio episode. And of course, all the links are provided in the description box. So if you find some of these bands interesting, go to open those links and you will find the music, be it Bandcamp or streaming services. Well, Bandcamp, technically speaking, is also an streaming service and all that stuff. Or go for the physical product, as I always say. You will see these different labels also via those links mentioned. So click, listen, and I hope you end up buying some of these. Obviously, mileage may vary, opinions may vary, so doesn't matter what I think about these bands in whatever order. You are the judge of your own mind and your own opinions. So check out the bands, and like I said, I hope you like at least some of them, and off you go. Cheers and thanks for watching the review. Click like if you like it. Bye bye.